Ben Crump said it. Ben Crump said it. When I tell you, Ben Crump said it. Ben Crump went on Ricky Smiley and said Nolan Wells was in a fight before he died. He said there are videos. He said there are witnesses that are coming forward. He said there was an argument involving Nolan that they're trying to hide. Oh my God. Oh my God. When I tell y'all Ben Crump is on it, baby, an argument, a fight with hundreds of people around and Nolan, and the only black boy out there, he's the one who did not come back. Let me say that again. Nolan was in a fight on that island with those so-called friends, with those white boys, and then he's the one who ends up dead, face beat, unrecognizable. No water is in his lungs, body dumped in the water like trash. Baby, that is not a coincidence. That's a setup. That's a murder. And Ben Crump just confirmed it today, baby, on Ricky Smiley's show. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And then we got the Shepherd. Yeah, Shepherd. He came out on ABC. I'm going to tell you who Shepherd is. Shepherd is the plant. That is the plant they sent out here to spin the story. You know, the judge and them. They sent the Shepherd boy out here. He admitted to Rolling Stone that he was the one in that viral video, the one screaming, the one yelling, the one ready to throw hands. And you know what he was fighting over? He was cussing out his girlfriend, disrespecting the dog crap out of her, going back and forth with her so bad in public, another man, a whole grown man, had to step in to defend the female. And Shepherd got mad. Oh my God. Shepherd got so mad, he wanted to fight the man for defending his girlfriend. He was screaming, "Get me off this MFing boat! Get me off this MFing boat!" Because he wanted to go back and finish what he started. Now, mind you, his uncle told him to get on the boat and go. He was leaving, but no, he wanted to spin the block. He wanted to spin the block and fight that man. And this is who they with. This is who they with. This is the energy around Nolan that day. Violent, demonic, disrespectful to women, ready to fight anybody who checks them. And Shepherd said this fight happened at 4:01 p.m. And then he said Nolan was right there. Did you catch that? Now catch the times, y'all. 4:01 p.m. He said Nolan was right there in the water, out of frame, but present, alive. So let me get this straight. You got a violent fight happening at 4:01 p.m. You got Shepherd screaming and cussing and ready to throw hands. You got all these boys hyped up, adrenaline pumping, alcohol in their system, and Nolan, the only black boy, is right there in the middle of it all. And we supposed to believe nothing happened. We supposed to believe they just peacefully went home at 3 p.m.? No. No, 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 no. The fight is what happened. The fight is the murder. And Ben Crump just confirmed it. And these fake friends, these boys who was with him, I'm talking about, I'm going to name their names. Can I name their names? Wyatt. Who else we got? We got Evan. We got Andrew. We got Warren. They caught line again. Warren Cole's biological mother, the real mother, I'm not talking about the judge, the stepmother. I'm not talking about the stepmother. She sent a message before the body was found, when Nolan was just missing, when they was still thought they can get away with this. She said Wyatt asked Nolan to get on the boat at 5 p.m., 5 o'clock p.m. She said the boat filled the water. She said it broke down. The boat, it broke down. She said it got towed in. She said Nolan wanted to stay with the girl. That was the story at 5 p.m. Then they found his body, y'all, and the story changed. The story changed. The story changed. Judge Ashley Cole, Jackson County judge, the stepmother to Warren, she took to Facebook and said the last time she saw, they saw, mind you, she said the last time they all saw Nolan was at 3 p.m., 3 o'clock, 2 hours earlier. She said they left at 4:30 p.m. because of pump issues. So which one is it, sweetheart? Was it 5 p.m. or was it 3 p.m.? Was the boat breaking down at 5 p.m. or did it have pump issues at 4:30 p.m.? Y'all can't even get y'all lies together. You know what I'm saying? You can't even get your lies straight between the two of you. And you expect us to believe any of this? But here's what they did not count on. Shepard. Yeah, the boy that spoke today. Shepard, the violent one. The one who was fighting at 4:01 p.m. He accidentally told the truth. Yes, he did. He said Nolan was in the water with everybody at 4:01 p.m., proving that the 3 p.m. story was a lie. The judge was saying that the judge is lying. That 3 p.m., that's a damn lie. Proving they still was with him. Proving they know exactly what happened. They moved the time back after they knew he was dead. They moved it from 5 p.m. to 3 p.m. to give themselves distance, to make it look like they were long gone, to make it look like whatever happened to Nolan, it happened after they left. They ain't had nothing to do with it. But the timeline don't lie. And we caught them in a lie. Yes, we did. And then there's this pool party picture. Can we talk about the pool party picture? They tried to tell us it was from June the 27th. Yeah, that's an old picture. Nothing to see here, folks. They got Rolling Stone trying to debunk it. They got metadata trying to prove it was old. Yeah, I'm telling you, they are working with the higher ups. But Evan, one of the boys in that picture, he tried to delete it off his Instagram, girl. Yeah, he tried to delete it off his Instagram. If it was an old picture from June the 27th, why delete it? Why scrub it? Why try to make it disappear? If it was nothing, if it was just harmless, if it was just some old party picture, why would you delete it? Because it wasn't from June the 27th. Because it was from July the 4th, because you can see the July 4th celebrations in the picture, because there's a guy with a USA engraved in his chest. Go look at that picture and you're going to see this guy, he got USA engraved in his chest celebrating the 4th of July, because Nolan is in that pool surrounded by what? All them white people, the only black face in that water. And because that picture proves Nolan made it back from that island, that picture proves that he was at that party after they claimed they left him. That picture proves they lied about when they last saw him. They try to delete it. They tried to scrub it. They try to make it go away. But the internet, don't forget, and we saved it. We screenshotted it. We made sure it lived forever because that's what they do. They destroy evidence. They delete messages. They scrub photos. They clean boats at 1 o'clock in the morning. And then they trying to tell us no foul play. No foul play with a picture they tried to delete, with messages they trying to scrub, with a timeline they can't change, with the body that proves he didn't drown. That's not no foul play. That's a cover up. That's what that is. And let me tell y'all about the body. Can we talk about the body? Because the body don't lie. And the body said everything. No water in his lungs, no water in his stomach, body not waterlogged, dental records needed because his face was beaten beyond recognition. You can't drown without water in your lungs. You can't drown when your lungs are dry. You can't drown when your body never tried to breathe that water in. You cannot drown when there's no water in your stomach. That means he was already dead when they put him in that water. That means they killed him somewhere else. That means they beat his face off so nobody could identify him. That means they dumped him like garbage and hope we'll believe that the drowning was the drowning. That's what they wanted us to believe. The drowning, the lie. That is exactly what they wanted us to believe. And Mississippi looked at that body and said, no foul play. Within 36 hours. 36 hours. They didn't even wait for the autopsy. They didn't even wait for the investigation. They looked at a murdered black boy with no water in his lungs and said, case closed. Because that's Mississippi. That's what Mississippi do. That's what Mississippi been doing since before any of us was born. Since Emmett Till, okay? Since Medgar Evers, since every single black body they found in that water and called it an accident. They beat his face off. They called it a drowning. And Mississippi said, no foul play. And Ben Crump went on Ricky Smiley and dropped truth bombs. He said the girl, Katie, told Nolan she was going back with her parents. Nolan told her he was going back to the boat. But the boys say Nolan told them he was staying with the girl. Somebody lying. Somebody not telling the truth. And Ben Crump said it. Obviously, somebody is not telling the truth here because the statement contradicts one another. He said Nolan's body washed up Monday morning, not Sunday when they searched. He said the expert said if Nolan drowned Saturday, the tides would have brought him to shore Sunday, not Monday. So why Monday? Because they didn't put him in that water Saturday. Because they held him somewhere. Because they killed him somewhere else and dumped him later. Because the timeline they gave us is a lie. And Ben Crump said the most important thing. He said, if these would have been 3 black boys with a white boy and he ended up dead, it would be investigated totally different. We would have had first 48 situation. We would have had them being integrated. Those black boys, they would have been separated. They would have been held. They couldn't even have been released. They would have been arrested for underage drinking. Yeah. It would have been all kinds of stuff. But we don't see none of that kind of intensity here. Because they white. Because they mama is a judge. Because Mississippi protects white boys who kill black boys. Because the system was built for them and against us. Ben Crump sees it. We see it. And we ain't gonna let them forget it. And then they called the Coast Guard at 11 p.m. If the last saw Nolan safely talking to the girl at 3 p.m., why did they wait 8 hours to call for help? 8 hours? If your friend is just having a conversation on an island, you don't call search and rescue at 11 p.m. You don't call the Coast Guard because somebody taking too long. You call when you know something is wrong. You call when you know he ain't coming back. You call when you know what happened. And that Coast Guard, they said it, did not require Coast Guard assistance. Did not require assistance. So, what did they say? Hey, we left our friend on an island 8 hours ago, and the Coast Guard said, nah, we good. Then the next day, July the 5th, at 12:26 p.m., local police contacted the Coast Guard to search in the vicinity of Horn Island. Not on the island, in the vicinity. They knew he was in that water. They knew he wasn't on that island. They knew because they put him there. And they called Coast Guard at 11 p.m. to create a damn alibi. To say, see, we tried to cover their tracks before Nolan parents even knew he was gone. That's not friends looking for a friend. That's killers covering up their tracks. And then they send Shepard, the violent one, the one who was fighting at 4:01 p.m., the one who cussed out his girlfriend and wanted to fight a man for defending her. They sent him to ABC News. They sent him to Rolling Stone. They sent him to do press tours, to cry about death threats, to play victim. And in the middle of all of that performing, all that, poor us. Everybody is being so mean to us. He said it. He said Nolan's life was taken. Taken. Not lost. Not drowned. Not an accident. Taken. And then he said, at 4:01 p.m., Nolan was right there in the water with everybody else. Right after his violent confrontation, right after all these boys was hyped up and ready to fight, proving that the 3 p.m. story was a lie, proving they were still with him, proving they know exactly what happened. The plant was supposed to save them. The plant was supposed to distract us. The plant was supposed to take the heat while the real killers hide behind lawyers and a judge mama. But the plant accidentally told the truth. The plant accidentally said, taken. The plant accidentally proved Nolan was alive at 4:01 p.m. They sent a violent boy to lie them, and he confessed instead. So here's what we do. Ben Crump confirmed Nolan was in a fight before he died. There are videos, there are witnesses, there are arguments they're trying to hide. Shepard the plant admitted he was the one fighting at 4:01 p.m. He said Nolan was right there in the water, present, alive, while violence was happening all around him. They said 5 p.m. when Nolan was missing. They said 3 p.m. after he was dead. They moved the time back to give themselves distance, to hide the fight, to hide the murder. Evan tried to delete the pool party picture. If it was old, why delete it, Evan? Because it was from July the 4th. Because Nolan made it back. Because they lying about when they last saw him. It was no water in his lungs. No water in his stomach. Body not waterlogged. Dental records needed because they beat his face off. They called the Coast Guard at 11 p.m. to create an alibi. They cleaned the boat at 1 a.m. They deleted messages. They deactivated social media. They lawyered up. They went silent. And Mississippi Judge Ashley Cole, Sheriff Ledbetter, and the whole corporate system, they looked at all of this and said, no foul play. No foul play. With a body that proves he didn't drown. With a timeline that proves they lied. With a fight that proves violence happened. With friends who had his phone and his keys and never called. That's not no foul play. That's conspiracy. That's a cover-up. That's a judge using her robe to protect her son. That's a sheriff who won't arrest white boys for killing a black boy. That's Mississippi being Mississippi, as it has always been. We see you, Judge Ashley Cole. We see you, Warren Cole. We see you, Wyatt, Andrew, Evan. We see you, Shepard. Violent, demonic, disrespectful to women, ready to fight anybody who checks you. We see every lie, every contradiction, every cover-up, every act of violence that led to Nolan's death, and we ain't gonna stop. We ain't gonna forget, and we ain't gonna move on. Justice for Nolan Wells. Justice for every black body that Mississippi tried to bury. And justice for every family that they told to go home and stop asking questions. I need y'all to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with every single person who needs to hear it. Nolan Wells. Say his name.